Good people.
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome to another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast, the place where you come learn how to stack your cards against the game of life.
We're going to figure something out for this. We're going to have graphics soon.
Pretty soon. Also, if you're a graphic designer and would like to give us your info, please do that. Yeah. We would love to outsource for some of this.
Yeah, we would love to help and support y'all too.
As always, I am your host, Ronnie Scott, and I am here with my wonderful husband and co-host.
What's up, y'all?
Peter Scott. And today we're going to finish up our conversation about
Woke.
The HULU Original Woke. Last week, we kind of talked about the heavier topics of the show.
Yeah.
But this week, we're going to talk about the relationship dynamics and how they're like written into the show and how things develop that way.
And how they reflect each of their own personalities and how they handle each other as a friendship.
Absolutely. And as always, don't take everything we say as gospel. We're just here.
Yeah, we're just giving our opinions.
We're not necessarily professionals.
But people who review shows, who is a professional, you're giving your opinion.
So yes, please remember that all of this is opinion. Do
Yes.
not take this as fact. Do not. It's just our opinion.
But either way, woke.
So let's get into it.
So what's the first relationship we're going to talk about?
The first relationship I want to talk about is between, I forgot her name already. Adrian. Between Keith and Adrian.
You have a best friend named this.
I do have a best friend named Adrian.
Adrian, you see that?
Whatever.
She don't even be thinking about you.
I don't know people's names. Whatever. So Adrian, we don't necessarily know too much about her.
Yeah, we don't know a lot. She's another artist, but I guess her art is more abstract in a sense, where she does like interactive pieces. So like one of the pieces she showed. So Adrian is this melanin deficient woman who
she's a white woman.
Keith started dating. And after his whole mental breakdown and not talking to his girlfriend, and after they broke up, Adrian got involved with Keith. Got involved with Adrian. Yeah, she's another artist, just like Adrian.
Just like Keith.
Yes, yes, just like Keith. Adrian is another artist, just like Keith, and yeah, we don't know much about her other than that.
It was something you just said, and it just went out the window. Oh, about them dating.
Yes.
So later on in the season, that kind of becomes a issue between the two of them, whether they're dating or whether they're not.
Yes.
But we'll get to there.
Keith wanted titles, and Adrian's like, I'm just trying to have fun.
Like, essentially. So, and you know about Keith. Keith is artist, dealing with a lot. His worldview has been shaken up.
Yeah.
Main character.
He's the one that went through the police brutality situation.
So
mistaken identity.
One thing that like I really enjoy about their characters or about their relationship in general is just that like, I mean, like she said, they were just having fun. They were just going at it.
Yeah.
In a time in Keith's life where, you know, everything was kind of like I said, kind of shaken up, doom and gloom. He didn't really have like a good foundation or I guess much enjoyment to look forward to in life. Yeah. Adrian kind of came in a bit, became that for
distraction.
That moment. Yeah, it became a very welcome distraction.
And like, did we even see how they met? That next episode just started with her in bed. Yeah, she came out of nowhere. It was kind of funny that way.
It was, and if it wasn't for other people interacting with her, I would have been like, Keith, you really messing with this woman, or is she a figment of your imagination?
Like, it's hilarious because every time they have sex, she wakes up in the morning and gets leaves. And one of the reoccurring jokes is Clovis
having breakfast,
because Clovis, Keith, and Gunther are all roommates. So when Keith brings a woman over, she got to leave. So Clovis is in the kitchen eating breakfast, and she's walking out the door, and she just picks up whatever he's eating and keeps going.
It just keeps going. It's like,
and Clovis is like, who's this white woman in my apartment?
Like,
who? She just took my key.
Like, not only is this white woman in my apartment, she took my food. Like,
so yeah, that's one of the recurring jokes in the series. It's hilarious to me.
Yes. So everything was smooth for them. Everything's going good until Keith gets a chance to present at this art gallery.
Yes, to this big art
influencer reviewer. And he's it's a very pro melanated.
Yeah, it's black artists presenting to a black art buyer or influencer. Somebody big. Dark Noir.
Yes.
Played by Nathan Lee Graham.
So Dark Noir is this art critic. He's very high society, very well known in the community. Like his opinion very much matters if you're gonna make or break your career.
Right. So Keith, he's nervous about to go there, but he gets there. One of the things I want to just touch on. He gets there and it's like he randomly bumps into Dark, and Dark knows him. And that brightens up Keith's day because he has to present a new piece of art that he's not quite certain about because this art piece reflects his relationship with him and Adrian.
Yes.
In this pro-black art gala. So, drama ensues.
Yes. So Keith, of course, and then Keith is also trying to, I guess, redefine his art style in general because he lost his contract with Butter and Toast, and then the company then took his art and continued to pump it out, just had somebody replicate it.
And just had somebody writing his art.
So now Keith's like, okay, what do I do? How do I continue to express myself?
He can't use Butter and Toast. He tried, what was it? I think it was a caricature that resembled Butter and Toast, and he basically got a cease and desist from them.
Yep.
It was like, this is our property now. Thanks for creating it for us, but this is mine.
And also, creatives, be aware of situations like that. Please make sure y'all read through y'all contracts. Make sure you care about your intellectual property and make sure all of that is protected.
One of the things that I peeped in the relationship between Keith and his ex was that she was a little snobby, snooty kind of type. Like, she liked Keith, don't get me wrong, but she was a lawyer and he was a character artist, a cartoonist. There you go. And she kind of held that. I look down on my nose at you. So
definitely.
She's the one that created his contract and worked with the company for it. So she probably knew that if Keith ever left, I think that's one of the reasons why she was trying to talk to him and try to get him to stick through this and stick with the company, because she knew in his contract that if you leave, you don't own Butter and Toast anymore. So I thought that was a little shady because his girlfriend is his lawyer and she ain't tell him that.
I didn't even peep. Well, okay. I didn't even peep that at first. I didn't think of it that way. I thought of it more so like, that's your girl. Like, y'all have been together and then you go through this traumatic event. You should want to confide in your girl. Like, I can see how the socioeconomic status has something to do with it and why he felt like he couldn't. I mean, it's a lot of reasons why he felt like he couldn't. He couldn't
because of what he went through. One, he had to deal and he doesn't know what to tell her. Two, the socioeconomic status, like, she's a little snobby, so if she would get pulled over by a cop, she maybe be able to like flash a badge and like, oh, that's not my ID. Here's my real ID, and the cop will see the her building badge that she's a lawyer or whatever, and like, oh, she's one of the good ones. But also, one of the conversations they was having like at the beginning was about Butter and Toast, about his contract. So that also told me that she was representing him. She was the one that was handling his paperwork.
Yeah, but I feel like she wouldn't have made a stink about the intellectual property if she assumed that Keith would always be working for butter and toast for that company.
Yeah, maybe
So
not, but I feel like also she shouldn't have withheld some information.
it was probably her way of protecting. We'll never know. Honestly.
We'll never know.
But
Maybe in season 2.
speculation.
But yeah,
But for me, I don't think it was I don't think there was any malicious intent behind it. I think even despite their differences, despite the socioeconomic status, she really loved Keith.
Yeah, she like
And I think what would put a damper on anybody's relationship is that Keith felt like he couldn't come to her in his time of need.
But there was a lot there. Like
There was definitely a lot.
She probably withheld the information, thinking he'll never have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, between that not knowing how to deal with the situation, but also that he destroyed his relationship with the company, probably making his lawyer look bad in the process too, which is his girlfriend.
Definitely had a lot more to do.
So
with
he
it.
couldn't really tell her like, I messed up our deal.
Yeah.
So
But back to Keith and Adrian.
Yes.
So at the art gala, Keith runs into Black Noir, who's saying he's like so excited to see his work, his black work.
He has to present this it's going to be a very iffy piece of art in this environment.
Now, Keith never told Adrian about the art gala in the first place.
No.
She found out and was going to show up as a surprise to him.
He didn't even tell Ayana the type of art he was making after being invited to this. So,
but he also didn't think it was going to be like a black event either.
Yes, very true.
So Keith then, after he sees the type of environment he's
Communication. Sorry, go ahead.
after he sees the type of environment he's in, he then proceeds to freak out over his art and tries to like correct it and ends up giving Adrian's character or caricature blackface.
Basically
blackface.
Because it's on a white canvas, so you just need to outline a certain piece to make her look like so. And then you obviously see he's a dark character in the swing too. But yeah, knowing who he's presented to, he went into the bathroom and was like shading it in.
So
all he got was the face.
Oh man. So as he is presenting, Adrian walks in just in time. It feels like
he didn't even know Adrian was coming. They didn't tell each other that they were going to be at this place.
She was just like,
Adrian told him he was going to be somewhere. He just didn't know where. Again, communication. That's the word of the day.
Communication.
Yes.
Yes. So Adrian walks in just in time to see
Keith present
her in blackface. And then of course they lock eyes and she's deeply hurt by it. Yeah. And he's just like, I don't know what to do. But then Black Noir comes up and is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
It shows the plight of this and that and the biracial relationship and how it's like again, Keith didn't draw it for that. It's just somebody else reinterpreted what he's saying.
So of course this creates a issue in their relationship, and the whole time Keith is trying to talk it out with Adrian, talk through it. And he's like, I know I hurt your feelings, and she's like, no, you don't have any
we're not a thing. There's nothing here, right? Like, we're just having fun. What are you talking about, my feelings?
So eventually Keith and Adrian decide to go their separate ways after they debate. It's
after
like
they sleep together, yeah.
So it's like they're in the midst of communicating about their hurt feelings, but Adrian the whole time is just like, you don't have to worry about my hurt feelings. We don't owe this to each other. We're just messing around. Like, we're not that deep into it. But Keith is very much so kind of heartbroken by it.
Keith is a people pleaser. He doesn't like hurting people's feelings. That's one of my issues. Like, I'm a people pleaser. Like, I would probably forego what I really want to please somebody else. So I recognize that. It's something I'm working on. It's a personal problem.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's why Keith does that. Like,
oh yes. So I just think I like how I guess racial differences weren't brought into the
until their final scene
dynamic until their final scenes until they had to confront. That's a lie.
Well, it was before the art gallery when she woke up, had to run into the kitchen, threw on the Black People for Rent shirt.
Yeah.
She didn't know what shirt she was throwing on.
No,
but Keith, butt naked, laying in bed, he was like, don't.
That feels weird.
Look at what you're wearing.
It started to feel weird. And then I was just kind of thinking about how, again, I've never been in an interracial relationship.
Hold that thought. I just want to say, watch it because this is a funny scene. It's one of those shows where they kind of fake you out with the character's reaction and then show you his real reaction.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry. Interracial relationship,
Yes, but I wanted to talk about it because although I've never been in an interracial relationship, I've seen a lot of them around me. And a lot of times, or from my perception of it, is that sometimes when it's an interracial relationship with a Black man and a white woman, a lot of Black men say, I feel like there's a difference between, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. I like how it wasn't made as like a fetishization type of thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, these are two people.
We met. We wanted to bump uglies. We did. And it just happened to be something a little bit more.
That's it. Plain.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of times, and especially in the media and TV shows, a lot of times when there's a Black man and really in a relationship with anything other than a Black woman, it's always seen from the guise of the Black man saying, "Oh, I like such and such women because Black women this," or I like such and such thing because Black women that. Yeah. I feel like there's a difference between just saying, I like white women.
Sometimes it's just the image. Sometimes it really is just an outside person looking in, because if you look at Keith's situation, an outside person will see he dated this lovely, well-accomplished Black lawyer, got into this racial situation, hasn't talked to her, and then he waking up with a white woman. Some would think you're overcorrecting or something. What are you doing? Others would think of Keith as maybe this is a revenge ploy for what happened to him with the white cop, and it's mind your business.
Right. I was going to say they didn't cover any of that. They didn't bring up any of that in the show.
Because it's not our business.
It's not our business, and they didn't make it a thing.
Yeah.
And Keith's character in general isn't the type of person to be like, "Oh, I like white women because I don't like Black women. Right. I like white women because Black women are too this,
or let
too
me
that,
go do this to a white woman because I can't feel any power against a white man."
It was never none of that. It was just pure, honestly, two people getting to know each other, enjoying each other, essentially.
Yeah. So that's
I just really like the way the show brought that up and didn't try to go too far into the other side.
Yeah. So that's Keith and Adrian. Next, let's do Clovis and Ayana.
Ooh, so Clovis is very much a.
If you ever watch How I Met Your Mother, he's the Black Barney.
Yes, he's it.
I don't know how more else to say
at
that.
All. I'm trying to think of a regular term way to say
who
it
is, but
essentially he's just
a playboy.
Playboy, a womanizer.
Yeah, he does it. One of the things he said in the show is he doesn't really mess with other women unless he can get something else out of it. He's not gonna do all of this for you if you ain't gonna give him the cheeks.
Right. It's definitely
he's one of those guys.
Yes. It's do you even like women? And he's like, I like what I could do with them.
Yeah.
That's about it. So, enter Ayana. So Ayana is she's so pretty.
She is.
She is again natural, very pro black.
She's a newspaper editor, head newspaper editor of her company or whatever her paper is.
Yes, and she's the one who's been interacting with Keith trying to get his career back on track.
He was the first one to review his butter and toast to him, and he's like, Yeah, that's not what it's about though.
Way back in the first episode.
And she became a recurring character.
I love it. So every time they're like around each other, Clovis is trying to hit on her. He's like, "Oh, I'll make you mine one day." Like all this slick stuff, and then she's just like,
really flats out say no though.
Yet every single time she flats out says no. When he showed up to her at the art gallery and approached her, she was just like, nah, and walk away. She has flat out every single time said no. Every single time.
That's just very true. I don't know why I didn't see that.
Every single time she says no.
Absolutely right.
So she's again making it very clear she's not interested, but Clovis is like, oh, this is a challenge. This is a challenge.
Nah, I'm gonna get this.
Challenge
I got
accepted.
it. I got it. Basically, is what he said. Every single time.
Every single time.
Keith is like, you don't see it. Keith sees it.
Keith sees it.
Keith understands.
Clovis is like, nah.
See what?
Nah,
I'm gonna get that.
I'm gonna get it. Until we're at the art gallery.
Yeah, he doesn't know yet, but we see a scene where Clovis is before the art gallery. Clovis is talking to Adrian about how Clovis is talking to Ayana about how Adrian put on the shirt.
About the shirt and how that kind of.
Ayana breaks the news to all of us if we didn't catch on to make it obvious and clear that she is a lesbian. Mm-hmm. She had a Asian girlfriend, and she put on the Black Lives Matter shirt after getting out of bed. Ayana was like, this is kind of weird now. And I don't know what to tell you, but
don't wear that shirt.
Take that off or we're done.
Yes. So that's how we found out that Ayana was a lesbian.
Cut to the art gallery.
So Clovis at first was hitting on Ayana, and Ayana's like, look, I'm not feeling it. First of all, I also love how she was like not feeling it, just like mentally not there, but she was like,
because
all right, I'm gonna put on a good face, but because her ex-girlfriend showed up to the art gallery with her new girlfriend.
Just to rub it in her face.
Another
black chick this Asian is dating. So this Asian has brought the fetish dynamic.
Mm-hmm. And that's the yes. Thank you for wrapping that all back up. Yes. So the Asian girlfriend, I don't even think we got her name.
It's not important.
It's not that important. But it's very clear that she has like a black woman fetish or like a type, so to speak. So
that's the Ayana, because her type is Asian. So that's kind of her.
She didn't say that was her type.
Clovis said it, that she fetishized. They both have a fetish for each other, and she didn't deny it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Clovis and Ayana.
So Clovis like walks up on her and is like, hitting
That's
on
his
her.
thing.
And Ayana's just like, fam, I'm not feeling it. And he's like, and then he looks at the girl like
because
observes.
he sees her demeanor and sees that she's
hurt and defeated,
visually upset.
Yes.
So, and he's like, wait. He looks at her. Ayana looks at her ex. Looks back at Ayana. Oh.
And then it's just like, damn.
You mad? Y'all just broke up. That's your ex? Yo.
And then it completely switches from there. Like,
best interaction ever.
Best.
Because she immediately became one of the homies.
Yes. Yes. As back in my high school days, I was definitely, or high school and middle school, I was definitely one of the homies, quote unquote. And it's just like, it feels weird that it took that for Clovis to like stop pursuing her.
Yes.
Not her saying
out of it.
no, not her denying him this whole time. It took him physically seeing that she is not interested in any men.
Because it's kind of, at least for me, it kind of seemed, although she said no, their interactions were a play with they played with each other. Like it was a back and forth type of thing. Like Clovis would approach, she would say no. Clovis would approach again, she would twist up her no and say no again. Clovis would approach again, she would find a new way to say no, and Clovis was like She never flat out say, "Nigga, I'm gonna place a restraining order on you. Get away from me."
Why does it have to go that far, though?
I understand.
Why is
I
her
get
saying
that.
no not enough?
I completely understand that. But it was like a cat and mouse type of thing.
It wasn't.
For Clovis, it was.
For Clovis, it
Yes.
was. But don't say it was a cat and mouse thing, because that assumes that she was, maybe toying with him. She wasn't. She was no, flat out.
Like,
no is a complete sentence.
She's a whole lesbian. I get it. I understand it. But for Clovis, that's how he saw it. So
don't be a Clovis, y'all.
I feel like that's why when it came to this point, he was like, "Oh, I can bug you about this now," because he already thought it was a game between them two.
Yeah, Clovis is don't get me wrong, Clovis is a very playful person. It's just hard not to bring my degree and analyze things into it, because it's like, again, what is this telling society? It's telling society that you can keep bugging a woman, even if she says no, keep bugging her until you find out that she's not interested in any men at all. If she's interested in any men at all, although she may not be interested in you, keep bugging her, because, that's definitely going to make her say yes. It's not. She said no the first time. Don't touch it.
Third time.
Don't touch it. But with all that said, after Clovis finally gets the hint that she's not interested, then it transforms from a pursuit to just like a friendship.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, I don't have to try
also
that.
This is Clovis's, I don't want to say love language, but this is how he communicates, like, especially when to make somebody feel better. He picks on them. He teases the situation to make it feel less than.
Yeah, he kind of sort of like breaks the ice with humor. Yeah, essentially.
So in this situation, he sees his ex. He's like, oh. And she's showing off the new chick in front of you, and she's like, "Dude, shut up."
Like, and Clovis just like, "Nah, this is funny though.
I don't want to talk." He's like, "Oh, we gonna talk about it."
Clovis is like, I think he said it in the show too. He was like, "Oh, so it's not just me. You don't like no men.
You don't like anybody." Okay, all right.
But then after that, he did something. He was like, "You want to make her jealous?" And like kind of like pulled like.
No. He was like, "Do you want to stop seeing her as your ex as attractive?"
Yes.
He was like, "Close your eyes. Now picture her just sitting there eating, and then she just projectile vomits all over your stuff, and it was just stuff like that. But picture her."
He was like on the toilet cleaning her ears out. And
yes.
Just like a huge clump of earwax.
Yes.
Like,
he was just saying whatever to make
things.
her seem disgusting. And she opened her eyes and she looked at it and she was like, "Oh.
Thanks.
Thank you."
So like it's weird, because although Clovis has all of his faults in his pursuit of women, he's also just a genuinely good character that wants his friends to feel better.
Yes. He's a horrible... He has horrible relationships with women, but he's a good friend.
He is. He's a good person, and he's just like, he has a different way of thinking, essentially. Yeah. Even when it goes back to him and Keith, when Keith first had the interaction with the police, he was just like, "Oh, now you woke," and was like making jokes about it, like trying to make him feel better.
He was breaking the ice. He was trying to belittle the situation so he doesn't feel like this is as serious as he's making it.
And then the scene with the koala on the bus when Gunther was like trying to show them the video. Clovis was the one who was like, "Nah, we don't want to see the video. We don't need to see the video. Like, chill out,
relax."
So it's like he doesn't know how to take no for an answer.
He's a person,
but he's still a really good person. You're right. He's a person. He has flaws. But I love how no matter what, he's always there for his friends. Always there going to make them feel better.
And I think one of Clovis's biggest issue, especially when it came to women, is he had no female friends. He had nobody to interact with and tell him that's not how you should do these things.
Yes.
Granted, he had his boys, but they're boys.
They're boys. They're going to think the same way. He was never open to a different view.
Not necessarily think the same way, but they're not necessarily going to come up and correct them.
No, I don't think that's what I meant to say. I think I meant to say more so like, you don't know somebody's point of view. Like you don't understand a different point of view unless you interact with different people.
Yes.
That's kind of what I meant by it. So like if you're surrounded by men,
Yeah.
None of these men know what it's like to be a woman.
Locker room talk.
Exactly. It's bigger than that. It's just like life experiences in general. Like if you live in one town, one space, this is all you know for your whole life, you're never going to know you're never going to experience life from somebody else's point of view because you don't have anybody else around to interact with.
I got you.
So yes, Clovis. So from the art gallery, after Clovis makes Ayanna feel better about her ex, then they we don't really see them for the rest of the episode, but
we don't see them until
they come back to the apartment. Yeah, is what I was gonna say. I didn't mean to say the rest of the episode.
Keith is trying to patch things up with Adrian. Clovis comes in with Ayanna after getting something to eat, and so as we said before, they share an apartment, and their communal living space is the living room where they do their living. And Clovis once claimed to the living room after Keith is already in there. So one of the ways to solve that is rock papers. I forgot what they call it in the show, but it's basically rock paper scissors.
Something. Oh, what was it? Yes, it was so neat.
They called it something else in the show, but it was rock paper scissors.
Rock paper scissors.
And then Gunther walks in and he wants claim because he has friends this episode too. Multiple. All of this comes from the art gallery, y'all. Yes. It was a great episode.
So, although we're not going to talk about, this isn't one of the relationships that I wanted to cover. I just think it's really funny that while they were at the art gallery, Gunther came up to this, was walking and saw this Asian
black art gallery. He has really no place there in a sense. Like, he has no opinions there. He has no other anybody else that looks like him there. So
he
peruses.
He was browsing the area, trying to figure out where he was gonna fit in and find his niche for the night. And then he walks up on this Asian couple that are drinking mushroom tea in the middle of this art gallery.
And he starts sipping on tea.
Oh man! And then it
all goes downhill, uphill. I don't know. This was a very confusing.
It went somewhere.
C plot for Gunther.
It was so cute though. It was. I just thought this part was cute, where Gunther was laying on both of the man and woman's laps, and then the woman started rubbing on his back, and then the dude started touching on his hair. And at first he was like, "Oh, this is nice," and he was like, "Wait, this is nice." Wait, where is this going? Oh.
And lo and behold, it goes to his apartment. So they proceed with that. There's been plenty of times in the episode where they were trying to start a threesome and either Gunther was not feeling it, or he went, after he started feeling it, he went too far, or they're getting it in and Gunther walks out and is like, "Hey guys, y'all know where we keep the water again?"
He's like, "Whew, I need to that was a funny part too. While Clovis and Ayanna are in the living room, talking, getting to know each other, and having this conversation, Gunther walks in. He's like, "Whew!" He walks in his robe. He's like, "Whew, I need a Gatorade." Just chugs his Gatorade.
Sits on the couch with him, "Hey guys, what y'all talking about?" And they were like, "Don't y'all? Aren't you busy?" Because they all know what's going on. They all walk through the same front door, so.
He's like, don't you got company? He's like, "Yeah, I'm giving them a break. They'll keep going at it until I come back."
They'll keep going. We're fine. This is great.
It was great. So yes, Clovis and Ayanna. So I love that this friendship dynamic is that, because although it started off on a sketchy, not sketchy.
It was sketchy. A pursuit.
It was a pursuit at first.
Yeah.
And then now it's just now because he has this friendship with Ayanna, that Clovis is going to start interacting with women differently, so to speak. So that's kind of what I wanted to touch on there. The last thing, last friendship dynamic.
One last thing I want to touch on. It's ironic that it took for Clovis to really want to make her feel better and really care about her feelings and help her get through this breakup. this was how he got her back to his apartment. Granted, nothing happened. Like
nothing happened.
She's
They're
a full-on lesbian.
talking.
They're talking, but this is what got her back to his apartment.
Yeah,
like it's hilarious. I find that phenomenally funny.
And I feel like it just like again it shakes up Clovis's
whole
worldview.
view.
That it's just like, yo, I don't have to be the stereotypical dude. Like
yeah,
so
you can just be you and. It can
and
work
also
out.
Women
you
have
can get a friend,
and just in the broader picture, that women have more to offer than just butt. Like,
yes.
So, so that's Clovis and Ayana's dynamic, and now I want to talk about
taxes.
And now you can't keep like, and now I want to talk about
staying on topic.
No,
I gotta test you.
No.
Gotta probe you.
No. Keith, the three roommates, Keith, Clovis, and Gunther.
Yes.
I genuinely appreciate how, and I've kind of touched on it throughout like these last two episodes, but just how all of them are like,
they're completely different people.
they're completely
You wouldn't
different
think
people.
Their relationship would work, or that they can be roommates and actually get along, and not just be roommates, but hang out outside the apartment, like,
and just like chill. And they all have each other's best interest at heart.
They all truly care for each other.
Like, and one thing that I truly, truly love is that with Gunther is not like the type of white person to be like, oh, but I have black friends, so I can do whatever and say whatever. He's like, it's not for the sake of colorblindness, because colorblindness hurts more than it helps in some aspect. But Gunther also sees that, like, no, these are my black friends. I don't quite understand what they're going through, but I want to learn. I want to, sympathize with it.
But not just that. He's somebody who truly wants to learn and is all encompassing about who he deals with. Like even the couple, like he was hesitant at
extremely.
first, and he was like, "No, I should be okay with this. There's nothing wrong with this. This situation is normal. Let me get back in there and try to do this thing." Leading to the situation where he tries to give the dude a hand job, and the dude's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" He was like, "What? I thought we were." He was like, I don't want that. I don't want you to touch me." And he was just like, "Dude, what? You're not okay with this?" Yeah.
I'm like, really? That happened?
Yeah. Like he went back into the room because he was nervous at first. He had to hype himself up outside. He went back inside and he tried to put his hand on his Johnson. He was like, "Whoa, dude." And Gus was like, "What?" He was like, we're having sex with her. Don't touch me. And
okay.
Was
It was
like,
just the threesome dynamic.
Yeah, the threesome dynamic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But so it just
so
shows,
it's not just with black people. He's all encompassing. He wants everybody to feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. He just wants to like experience just everything there is to offer him. Like,
right.
I don't mean to say that like to be cliche, but it's just like these are new experiences just for him, new experiences for him, and the writers very clearly show that these are new experiences, and they show that he's like, okay, I don't really know what to do, but I don't want to shy away from this, so let's try to figure it out as we're going.
Even with the whole cop situation, he came home with Keith. He had a moment where he was like, I felt like my life was in danger. And both of them was like, whoa.
And it wasn't from an arrogant standpoint. No. He like genuinely felt as if
his life was
what happened to him versus
his
what happened to Keith.
Like, and that's what he was reflecting off of his friend and what his friend went through. And it was like, my boy's in danger, I'm in danger. Like, and that's what I really appreciate about Gunther. Like, he's a true ride or die.
He is a true ride or die. Like true.
Even when Keith was freaking out about the koala and breaking up the protest or whatever, Gunther and Clovis was standing back, and Gunther was like, "Should
we stop him?
Should we stop him?
And then
is this okay?"
Clovis is just like, "Nah, he
like he asked first. He didn't just go up there and subvert his own ideas on Keith. He was like, let me inquire with my
Right.
other friend about my other friend first. It was like,
what should we do here?
He's like, no, let him have a moment.
He needs it.
And then when it came time, Clovis was like, all right, let's go get him.
Right. And it's just like, I just love the learning aspect, because it's like, you can't, a lot of times when shows have essentially a token white friend, it's like the white friend instantly gets everything and knows what to say and knows what not to do. And it's like, with Gunther, this show shows the realness is that you don't always know what to do in a situation when you're supporting your friend who's a different race.
Or let's flip that to the other side. The other show Keith was on, New Girl, he was kind of the token black friend. Like, after Coach left in the first season, we had this character.
Yep.
Like, excuse me. And they looked at him, hey, like, he had one interaction with Schmidt about cocaine, and he asked Winston, which is Keith's character in New Girl. He asked Winston, hey, you know where we can get some coke, right? Because he was black.
Just because he was black. And I want to call him Keith, but Winston in that show was like,
I'm gonna mess with him though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It took him to the shady, but he didn't know. Why would he? Just because he's black, he's supposed to know. And it's just like with Gunther. It's like, just because he's white, he's supposed to have this privilege or this knowledge, but he doesn't move that way.
I was gonna say, but the difference is that in New Girl, all the white people, they made it seem like all the white people knew what was going on. Like, first of all, no, it's not even that they knew. They just didn't like. They didn't know, and they didn't
ask. They didn't inquire, didn't try to understand.
They just assumed from their own personal experiences that this is how their friend, quote unquote, was. Whereas in Woke, it's like Gunther being the token white person. He's like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm not afraid to ask.
Yeah, he's not afraid to ask. He's not afraid to get his hands. He's not afraid to be wrong either. Like, and he accepts correction. He's not one of the people that's like, oh no, it's my way or the highway.
Right, I know what I'm talking about.
Right. Like, no, like I said, he said, oh, my life, and they had to break it down to him how he wasn't in danger.
Yep.
And he was like, no, you're right.
And then after that, he understood and he got it. And then Clovis, in that triplet friendship dynamic, Clovis is like, he's like the mom of the group, but he also has his own, like,
he has the own way of presenting that.
Yes. And it's like, Clovis is definitely, he's always going to look out for his friend's best interest at heart. Like, even, again, I keep talking about this point because it was so powerful to me, and what, like, sometimes what I struggle with. But on the bus, when Gunther was trying to show the video to Keith, Clovis was the one who stepped in, and Clovis was like, look, Gunther, we don't need to see the video. We get it. We understand. Like, we don't need to see it.
But not just that, even on Keith's side, he was like, Keith, just relax. Don't feed into these people talking about this koala. Just sit on this bus, relax, calm down. We'll get out of here soon.
Yep. And it's like, it's always it's not from a standpoint of, let me correct you. It's from a standpoint of, I care about you.
Yeah, like, I know what triggers you. Just relax.
And then Keith is like, I can't put it into words.
Keith is like a mix of them both.
Yes, because Keith is also going through life trying to understand what's going on, what has happened.
Because I don't like talking on it, but it's reality, especially in the show. Like I said, Keith is like both of them. Keith is black, so he has to deal with being black in America. But also, Keith is educated. He's well spoken. He can present himself well. He has very good connection with other white people. He knows how to play the field. He knows how to present himself well. So
thank you. You explained that a heck of a lot better than I would have.
So he kind of has that pseudo white privilege in a sense.
He's just kind of like removed,
right?
I guess. Yeah.
So that's why his whole world was on 100 until he got brought back to 0 and got reminded, you black in America.
You black, like, and that kind of like hit me a little bit, because it's just like,
You can
it
do
doesn't
everything
matter.
right.
You can do everything right. It doesn't matter. You can support police as a black person, and they will still see you as
You
a
will
threat.
still fit the description.
Like, there's nothing that you can do that's gonna change a racist cop's mind.
But we're not here to talk about that.
No, we're not. So too, again, with Keith, he's also trying to figure this out. So he's in a point like Gunther, where he's trying to understand these new ideals, new thoughts, new feelings. And he's also like Clovis, where he's just like, but I want to make sure everybody's on the same accord. I'm a people pleaser. I want everybody to be good.
Because not only is Keith dealing with the situation with the cop, he's trying to find a new way to present his comics. He can't get Toast and Butter back, so that's dead.
Which was his life's work. Like,
so he's been starting these new artistic campaigns, but not just on top of that. Now he believes he has real feelings for this white girl he's dating. So Adrian. He wants to make that work. He wants to put a label on that, but Adrian doesn't, which is usually the guy's thing, and the black guy's thing. It's like, why do we got to put a label on this? Why can't we just have fun? So Keith is navigating through a lot of feelings right now.
Yes, he is. But,
and it's interesting.
But at the end of the day, I love how they write friendships and see it as it's multi-dynamics. Like, not everything, what works with one friend may not work with another friend.
Yes.
And just like, friendships have faults. Sometimes you're gonna miss the ball. Sometimes they're gonna be communication issues.
Sometimes you're gonna be wrong and your friends gotta correct you.
Sometimes you're gonna be wrong and your friends gotta correct you, and then you have to sit in that and be like, oh, okay, like, I did wrong.
I see what I saw. I did wrong. You're right. Let me fix that.
Right. So, friendships are so important, just in life in general.
Very much so.
You got to have a good quality group of friends to help you keep your head on straight, friends to help hype you up when you need it, friends to
remind you got a big butt and it looks nice.
Yes, that too. And I just think we all need to kind of like, or for me at least, just kind of appreciate more of our friendships, because, and although they haven't gotten into, and another thing that I found interesting is that they never, it's the idea, or for me at least, probably just because of what I'm going through in my own personal life, that the family you're born into isn't necessarily the family you always have to have. Like, sometimes you can choose your family, and those friends that you have no blood relationship with can be more important to you than people, your cousin or your aunt or your whomever, your sister, brother.
It's crazy. I don't know. Well, yes, I do. It's because people are broken. They had no other choice but to stay together to make it work. But I was going to say, I don't know where the idea of your family, you're supposed to stay with your family and stick with your family throughout life, no matter what. You born into this family, you die in this family. Yet constantly people get married, they move away, they have kids, they leave. My parents flew to a whole nother country to make a life. You think at first they probably missed their family and all of that, but they got here and was like, all right, I got to figure this stuff out now for me.
Create your new family.
I got to create my new family. I need new friends, so I'm not just taking all this pressure on by myself, that I have somebody there to help me decompress. So it's like,
and sometimes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. I kind of lost what I was saying.
I was going to say, and sometimes the family you create is more beneficial to you and your peace than the family that you were born into.
Right.
And I love that this show never even touches essentially on everybody's individual families.
Yeah.
Or
because they are their family.
They are their family. The
show is about them. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, yes. So this is another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast. Please, y'all, go watch Woke on Hulu. It is.
If y'all want to tag Hulu in this video, please do so. If you need other show reviews, Hulu, hit us up. You know where to find us. Right here at Scott Enterprises.
Yes. So we look forward to seeing you all next time. Please take this friendship card and tuck it in your pocket. Know when to play it, know when to hold it, know when to let it go and let it roll. This has been another episode of the Adult Deck Podcast, and we will see you all next week.
It's been real, y'all.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Co-host Peter here. Just wanted to stop by and let you all know that if you like this video, you can check out the weekly check-ins and look out for our vlogs, which are coming soon. Also, here at the Adult Deck playlist, check out last week's episode and the full run of Season 1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. Be easy.